Call to order. This is the Swampscott School Committee regular session.
You have to mute.
Can't take me anywhere. I've done this
okay.
before. Really? There we go. Start again. Welcome to the Swampscott School Committee regular session of Thursday, August 22nd, 6 o'clock. We are live at Swampscott High School. So, call to order. If we could stand, if you so desire, to pledge allegiance to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Hope everyone is enjoying the remainder of your summer as we get very excited for starting the new school year. And we are back. So we will start with anything for the love of learning today.
Not tonight. I hope to kick it back off in September.
Excellent. Look forward to that. Committee comments. Ms. Marshall.
I mean, nothing formal, just really super excited to see the new school and to, I'm sure other people have more to say, but I haven't gotten a chance to really see it, so I'm looking forward to convocation. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I'm glad to hear that everybody is so excited, and yeah, I can't wait.
Excellent. Ms. Wright.
Along those lines, Ms. Marshall, there's going to be a public dedication of the building on September 15th. It's a Sunday morning. Not convenient for everyone, but apparently it's also football, start of NFL, so right. It's in the morning. It's going to be at 10, and we're going to do a ribbon cutting in front of the building and then have some refreshments inside in the cafeteria and offer some guided tours of the public spaces.
Amazing.
So that'll be an opportunity for more public to see it, because there's been lots of parents and students in, and all the teachers, elementary school teachers at least, have been in. So
great.
It's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you. Mr. Jancis.
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. Similar to Karen, I'm looking forward to seeing the school as well. I haven't seen it since we took a tour, probably like 6 months ago, right? And so looking
like the same building.
Yeah, looking forward to that. And just what I've heard, just from not a lot of parents, but parents who have kids in the elementary, they're really looking forward to it. And not sure about their kids, but I know the parents are very excited. So again, looking forward to the ceremony on the 15th.
Great. Really, just for me to dovetail, I was lucky enough that the superintendent gave me a tour on Monday, and I was blown away. I didn't know what to expect. I did not expect that. Again, it'd been a long time since we had been in the building, and I am just so super excited, not only for the staff, but for the kids to go in and just see the brightness. And there's places you look out and all you see is greenery, and it is just going to be an amazing, amazing place, and I'm excited for the entire district. So it's going to be great. It really is. All right. Reports and discussions.
Okay, I'll jump right into my superintendent's report, beginning with a field trip request. Ms. Rapazada is here with Mr. Kalishman to talk about the 6th grade field trip coming up October 9th through 11th. So I will turn it over to both of you. Appreciate you being here.
All right. So if you remember, we came to you last year because we brought back Nature's Classroom.
Yes.
So Nature's Classroom, I mean, it was great, and the kids had a great time, and it just was, we had to do a different location, so it was in Massachusetts, but it was significantly further away than previously. Then we had a pretty significant cost as well. The ride home on the Friday was a little bit of a disaster, but, welcome to DC life. I mean, it happens every year. You can't make it home without a bus issue. And so we started looking at other options because the price was cost prohibitive to a lot of people as well. So we looked at what was formerly known as Ferry Beach. Some of your kids may have gone to Ferry Beach back in the day. It's now called the Ecology School. It's in Saco, Maine. It's cheaper, it's closer, and it looks incredible. So we're back, in front of you today, asking for permission to take the kids, the 6th grade, this year's 6th grade, to Ecology School in Saco, Maine.
Similar curriculum?
Similar, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And you did attach the standards.
Yes.
And everything
Like
here.
all the stuff, like the kids really do all the stuff that's on that? Or they just pick and choose from the different standards and activities? Because I was just like, oh my God, how are they gonna fit all this in?
Do you-
It's
wanna
so,
talk about that?
it's just cool.
Yeah, they have a set schedule. I mean, we're busy like
It's
7
crazy.
a.m. to probably 8 or 9 p.m.
That's
with
great.
night activities. It's very similar to Nature's Classroom.
It just,
And-
it looks awesome. I mean,
Yeah, it's
like,
pretty
I just
good.
didn't know if, like, that was just a sampling of activities, or that really is like all the activities. I was just like, do you think is it called something different, or is it run by different people?
It's the same people.
It's just
Yeah.
called Ecology School now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Fair
They have a
Regions
brand
and
new
Beachhead.
site in Saco, Maine. It's a whole new campus. Fully, like their food production is sustainable. They're growing their own
Cool.
composting, the whole thing. It's really cool, their stuff. Yeah, it's great.
I'd like to go back to middle school to attend these.
Yeah.
No,
I
right?
loved,
Good,
I mean,
yeah.
I did this when I was in 6th grade.
Wow.
It was like the best week of school.
We did the Washington
Yeah.
trip, that was the big deal in 8th grade, but,
Right.
so,
Yeah.
any other questions or comments from the committee?
How many, I'm sorry, how many students do you anticipate going, and the students who decide not to attend, what's the curriculum for them?
So we already have the teachers who last year stayed back with the, how many, what was it?
But 25.
25 kids last year. They're going to tackle a lot of the same field trips they did
Oh, great.
last year, this year. And I would say, I don't know, we did a survey last spring, and it was a significant amount of the kids wanted to go. So I think they're kind of chomping at the bit to go. So I don't know was it
Well,
130?
set up-
Something high. It was something
Yeah.
like 130 kids out of 140.
Yeah, it
Wow,
says
that's
approximately
great.
120,
Yeah.
and then 12 chaperones, is
Yeah.
approximate. And obviously,
Yeah.
that will change according to
Yes.
the
Right.
numbers.
And both things happen. Every time we have a field trip like this, both things happen. Some kids get cold feet and bail, and some kids, as it gets closer, the families say, we want to do it.
Right.
I do think it's important to note, to sort of let everybody know, though, that the teachers have already in the spring started fundraising efforts, having meetings about that, reaching out to different, reaching out to the Giron Foundation for support, because, I mean, the buses have just skyrocketed.
Right.
So we're trying to make it manageable. It's just like TC, the whole thing is, we want to make it so if people want to go, they can go.
Right.
It's just, we're already starting that process, so. The only thing I will say, just for your benefit, the field trip, usually it's 6 weeks out that we give you all the information. We just are getting sort of the field trips for the kids who stay back now, so that's gonna be tight.
Okay.
But the teachers have been off and the date changed, so it's gonna be a little bit tighter than the 6 weeks probably.
Well, because it's a different
That's
time
fine.
frame.
It's a
Yeah.
different time, yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right.
Anyone else have any questions?
Sounds great.
All right,
Love it.
okay.
Want to go.
Can someone make a motion to accept the application for field trip?
Is that what we do? Accept
That's what we do, right? We have to approve it.
Yeah, you do, because
overnight.
it's out of state, yeah.
Should we do it during actions and votes, or just,
I think so, they don't have to stick around, we could do
Yeah.
it now.
I mean, it's not on there in actions
Right.
and votes, we can just do it now, I guess.
Okay.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the field trip
Thank you.
to the ecology school.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, there is none. It is so approved. Sounds great.
Thank you. I will piggyback on committee comment for the next item. I didn't do a formal anything in writing because there's been so much going on that it would be jumbled, I think, in just a bunch of bullet points. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the elementary transition and all that's been going on. An enormous shout out to Principal Sanborn, Assistant Principal Jay Knowles, and Dean of Students Mary Powers. In addition to those three, the three administrative assistants, Kate Curtis, Jamie McKaysey, and Jenna Moore, have, since they, boots on the ground outside the building, once they got in the building, they are flying. Ms. Sanborn I went to the community neighborhood meeting a week ago Tuesday here, and a lot of questions about pickup and drop-off, and I had met with Ms. Sanborn the next day, and she has the level of detail for pickup and drop-off down to a science. I'm not going to promote that or disseminate that information until she does, but the kids will be going right in the building. The busing, who's going to be meeting there. I didn't know at the construction meeting why that gate was being put in there. Now I know it's for the buses. I must have missed that piece. But even down to at the end of the day, where the groups are meeting, where the walkers were going, where the extended day kids are going, where they're all going to be housed is the level of detail is absolutely incredible. Because there were a few young parents at the community meeting that were asking, like, will my child be met at the bus? And will my child go inside? Will they know what to do? They have the level of detail absolutely down to a science. I'm so impressed, and I hope tomorrow to get a copy of that, because at your suggestion, Mrs. Raymond, we need to get that in the handbook, because that's where people are going to be looking. In addition, you mentioned that we did open the building for teachers last Saturday.
Feels like last year.
I know,
So
right? And I woke up, well, I actually went to bed Friday night thinking, I've got to get over there with them, make sure they're okay, make sure they don't need anything, make sure they're feeling comfortable. And I went over Saturday morning and spent some time with them, and they were like, giddy is the word that came to mind, and the amount of storage, they were all like, then the comment a couple people made is like, I don't like my old bins, they're dirty, I can smell the old school, I need to go out and get new bins. So they were just, the neighborhoods, the flex space, they were like, where's your office going to be? Why don't you come in our flex space and have an office here? The excitement was just absolutely palpable. And today, Ms. Sanborn, her communication is so proactive with her staff. A communication went out about, it's not perfect next week. There's
Of course.
thousands of items on a punch list.
Right.
And we have a process set up so that the teachers send it to Kate. Kate checks the punch list that already exists so that we're not duplicating efforts, but that they need to know that there still will be workers in the building for the first couple of months anyway, finishing things up. So I think Ms. Sanborn's natural ability to be proactive with communication has really kept everybody settled.
Can I just jump in for 1 second?
Sure.
I know you're saying there's workers in the building. I just want everyone to understand that there's workers, anyone in the building is being query checked.
Yes.
And the only workers that are going to be in the building during the school day, our construction supervisor is going to be there to answer questions, and the electricity person will be there for the first week of school to make sure there's no electrical kind of issues. But the work people will not be in the school during the school day. They're going to be working second shift.
Yes.
And there will be extended day at that point, but they're all query checked, and they all have to have their name on a list of people who were approved to come in. So just so people understand that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
That's just something that we've taken care of.
Great, thank
The
you.
safety and security, obviously, is part of it, but that could be misunderstood to mean that there's going to be workers in and out. And
No.
Ms. Sanborn made it clear that, it won't be disruptive, it's there to answer questions, and that, there may be workers after school, but everybody, as Mrs. Wright said, will be quarried, and that's important. I think today it got rescheduled. There was a dry run with the buses. They were absolutely...
I told them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I told these guys.
Okay, so I took a vacation day today, so I wasn't able to attend, but there was going to be a dry run with buses. And one of the things, another takeaway from the community and neighborhood meeting last week is really the commitment from the police department to work very diligently with us for as long as it takes to make sure parents are adhering and families are adhering to the rules and the drop-off rules. There was concern from people that they want to be able to walk their child in. We explained that we've been doing this drop-and roll since we opened Blaney and Hadley, that it's really, if you're going to park out in the neighborhood, there's a ton of resident sticker parking only.
Have we talked about the temple, or is that like to park and walk from the temple?
One of the PTO parents was spearheading that, so I'm not sure where that, I'm not sure where that is. But more importantly, Brittany Jones, Max Casper's administrative assistant, has done a visual map, and it's going to be handed out to all of the staff in case there's events over there. And Ms. Sanborn's going to be reviewing it with her staff during the faculty meeting so that it's very clear. Those signs were supposed to be going up. I think they did last week with green bags, or this week with green bags over them. So it is very clearly going to be very clearly marked where it's resident sticker parking only, and the police are going to help us enforce that.
Good.
So I think that's about it. I think I've hit it. I will say that this week, yesterday and today, there were family tours with students, and to Mr. Giantis's point, my phone was blowing up a little bit earlier that some of our own teachers went in with their kids, and the kids' anxiety settled way down. Now they can't wait to go to school. I want to thank the PTO at the elementary school because they've spearheaded the tours so that Ms. Sanborn and her team could continue to work. And so they were doing the tours. Ms. Sanborn gave these PTO volunteers a tour. Those PTO volunteers are giving the family tours. And there were lots of smiles when I was over there yesterday. So
I gotta tell you, last night I saw some teachers out, and one of the teachers showed me a picture of her son in one of the new bathrooms, literally hugging
I saw that
tile
photo.
wall.
I saw
It was
a
like,
former Hadley, a
this
former
is the
Hadley
best
boy.
real bathroom.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
Well, can you imagine being, someone
I just
who's,
was laughing so hard, like.
who's been at Hadley for a couple of years, and now they're going into that gym?
Yeah.
And it's gonna be kind of shocking.
How about the lime and lemon cafeteria
Right.
at
Oh my God.
Hadley?
Yeah.
How about the saloon doors on the bathroom and the
Right.
third floor?
Yes.
Saloon doors.
So,
Classics.
Mr. Dulett was telling me when he came in tonight, like, he's just blown away. So it's all exciting. It's very exciting to be able to have that convocation there on Monday morning, and we're really looking forward to it. So the next item on my agenda is the bullying prevention plan, and this came up last year. We need to come before you every year. Thanks to Assistant Superintendent Mrs. Raymond. She spearheads this, and she's here to share her thoughts and the updates on this for the school committee.
So for the minimal updates, I do believe you all had a copy of it from June, and so the only real changes were more administrative in that we have the new school, so we wanted to make sure it's the Swampscott Elementary School. Just some staffing changes, so we have the right people reporting to the right areas. And also always trying to make it so that it's a little more universal and not so overly specific that like one little change doesn't make you have to come back and update the whole plan. So we just keep looking at it to update it and make it just more user-friendly. So this will go out to, as required by DESI regulations, will go out to all the families and all the staff. There is a mandatory training. Actually, I don't know if Lisa's coming to talk about it. I actually did do the new mandatory training through the new company. It's much better than what we had previously, but all the staff are trained on what bullying is, and then at the faculty meetings, the principals review the bullying prevention plan with them. And then this will go out to all the families. Ways for reporting remain the same. There'll be a Google link on each of the school websites. But you don't have to use that form. You can call, you could email, you can talk. There's no requirement for how it's reported. Data collection will look similar. We'll have the spreadsheets, and that really does help for us to look at trends to see if there's any repeated issues happening. And then different eyes can look at it too. So if someone sees something, that might alert us to take another step. So it's really minimal changes. Anybody have any questions?
This is the same one that goes on the school
Yes.
school website, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it's in
Right.
there.
Yep.
So it's distributed.
really
It's
changing, yeah.
It's not, there's
It's
minimal.
minimal updates,
Yep.
okay.
A lot of work was done, and one of the things we didn't bring before you tonight, I delayed till the September 12th meeting, is the handbook, because Martha and her team also worked on the handbook in a similar way, really putting a lot of links in there so that it doesn't have to be changed, yes, and,
I think it's down to 12 pages. It was
yep.
75.
It's, I know!
Excellent,
It only took me
excellent,
11 years to get there, Suzanne.
I
excellent.
can't believe you didn't have me help you do it.
I'm actually, it's like probably one of the proudest things I am of like this past year was
Can I
to
just
get
say
that done.
one quick thing? I was looking at policies now that I have the time to, and there's a bullying, harassment kind of, there's an update we need to make with language, and I think like you should look at it too to make sure the language is the same.
Yep.
That's in, I just think like, right, isn't it?
I mean, the Title IX harassment, that did
Yeah.
update just August
1st.
So
Yeah, okay.
that is
Like-
different than this plan,
But
but
does it?
it is updated or
Does it,
that's up to you, too.
does it mesh? It's not, there's nothing contrary or,
No, I mean, the Title IX updates, it just are more inclusive of
Okay.
different protected classes, and I've already updated that as well, and that is on our school district website. And also they've made it a little, the definitions of harassment did not change.
Right.
more people protected, which is
Right.
great. And they loosened a little bit of some of the regulatory requirements. It was very, very prescribed, almost tied your hands a little bit, so they've kind of loosened a few things up. But that, we have that already updated as well.
Okay, I just was reading through it and noticing that
Yeah.
there's one we really have to completely change or adapt for sure to look more like the MASC one, and then there's one we don't
Yeah,
have.
for protected
right?
groups, yeah, the groups
Yeah.
widened.
Yeah, and I think also we just have things in different places. Like
Yep.
we talk about sexual harassment, but it's not like in bullying, or they're not all.
It is
sort of-
different, so Title
Right.
IX and bullying are different.
Right, but there's so many overlaps with how they talk about them now, and
Yes.
it's just like, I just want to be sure that, like,
They're all, yes, I agree. The investigation, I mean, Title IX is far more prescribed, like it's very prescribed about what you're gonna do.
Right.
Regarding sexual harassment. And that definition should stay the same. It's just, the increase is like, we're gonna protect, students who are transgender, students, who are pregnant, like they increase the number of protected classes that we would
Identifying.
include in sexual
We did
harassment.
start updating our policies to include those classes last year. I mean, when we were doing some of the updates, we did update some of the policies for.
So that's,
I don't
so
think it
that's
changes the district practice. I think this is something we've been doing for
Yeah.
years, but it's really nice to have a uniform
Right.
policy that now, everyone adheres to, so
Right.
it's appreciated.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'm
There's a
sorry.
lot of trainings that we can go on them too, but it is, it's pretty prescribed. The bullying piece is really just to make sure that we're identifying it, that people feel comfortable coming to report it, and that safety plans, I guess if that was one thing you're gonna take away, you can implement a safety plan regardless of whether there was bullying found or harassment found. You can do that immediately, and that's why reporting it is so critical, because we can come in and step in and help make kids feel safe immediately, even without an investigation.
Right.
Can't discipline, right?
Right.
But you can do safety right away. And so that, to me, is really important.
Yeah, good, that's a really good point.
So
Yeah.
this isn't so much a vote,
No.
it's a
Right.
review and adopt, it's just making you aware so that we have, I don't think it needs to be put
Okay.
to a
Okay.
vote. And the final item on my agenda is first of maybe a few that will be coming your way, and this is surplus, textbook surplus. As you can imagine, beginning last year, middle of the year, they started looking at attic spaces and programs that are no longer in use. And so if you start, there's picture and chapter books, there are, so you have your title, whether it's a trade book or textbook or a manual, how many copies, and where the location was. So if you scan through this, a lot of this was cleaning out the annex at Hadley, the Clark attic. Dates are 1980, 2017. I think there's one that is a little bit
Ooh.
young. But then if you, 1965 on the second page, 1997.
1934, Journeys Through North America.
Oh, I missed that one. 1934 at the bottom, yeah. So this was our way to document
up for you.
what we were obviously moving on and declaring surplus. And so, again, and Suzanne, I apologize, we're supposed to be following this new format that should have been down under vote. So if you want to wait, we can vote on that.
I'm not that.
No, we worked, but we
No,
worked
I'm
hard
just-
on changing the agenda.
Nope,
So,
done.
can we vote now then?
Yes, please.
Okay, so could we have a motion to approve the list of textbook surplus?
Someone make a motion, please?
I'll make the motion.
Someone second?
Second.
All in favor of accepting the textbook surplus list, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone who's opposed? No, motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
And we will all miss the Journeys Through North America,
Yes, I think
circa
we will.
1934.
Yep. I think that is the oldest one. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anything else, Superintendent?
Nope.
Does anyone but Dr. Bacon look at these books?
Yes, she had a few people.
No, I was
go
just
through-
like wondering, like, does someone get to look at them and say, oh my God, my daughter has teaches kindergarten somewhere, let me give her all these books, or?
I think these were beyond passing out.
They've been sitting in a box and they're not right.
Musty.
Yeah,
and-
no,
I
I
mean,
just didn't.
you had been up to the Clark attic even in the last,
Oh, yeah.
since I left. Anything in the Clark attic I wouldn't.
I saw the Clark attic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
So anyway, that concludes my report. It's pretty brief tonight. I anticipate September 12th will be
Yeah.
much more meaty.
Exactly, I would think so too. All right, thank you very much. Do you want to publicly just talk about the football thing?
Oh, yes, we are super excited. Ms. Wolf actually shared with our office, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks ago, that there was a potential, well, we were invited to play our Thanksgiving Day football game at Fenway Park. And then she and the Marblehead Athletic Director actually had a phone call meeting with the people at Fenway, and she was super excited because, you know, we were all excited to go to Gillette, but the fact that they have point people for the cheerleaders, for the band, for the coaches, for the, you know, teams. So she said it seems like a very, very tight ship, run really well. At the time, she knew it was going to be the Tuesday or Wednesday before Thanksgiving. There were 4 slots. She wasn't sure what time our game would be. And last night, she announced and sent out a formal invitation that we are Wednesday at 6:30. And I'm sure her department will be sending out all of the details.
Primo spot.
We are just super excited, and she's talking about box seats or something, and I said, well, I want one. She's like, you'll be on the field again? I'm like, oh yes, forget it, I'll be on the field. So how super exciting is that? I'm so excited for our players and our coaches who work really hard. I'm excited for the Marblehead team, and I didn't really pay attention to the other 3 games that are being played there. So we're 6:30 the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving. I don't know what she is going to do for Thanksgiving dinner because I think she's worked for 30 years on Thanksgiving, right?
I know, right?
So very, very exciting. We're all very excited about that. So congratulations. I think it's a great honor, and they reached out to Kelly. So yeah, I don't know how we're
How they
selected
select
yet,
it, yeah.
but that's wonderful.
All right,
Cool.
fantastic. Again, there'll be, I think, on my perspective, there'll be more meaty as we get after the building opens, but just a few things. We do have the school committee protocols, and I read through this earlier. It really is the same as we did. We had a minor change in 23-24, just about communication. But just so the public knows, this is really what governs how we operate as a committee. Thank you, John. And it's really the rules that we live by. It's how we govern. Really, at the end of the day, the 5 of us, we can't investigate anything. Any problem we turn over to the superintendent and your staff. We make sure that we don't breach open meeting, and I'm just paraphrasing here. A big section is how we treat each other. Mm-hmm. And we've all known each other for a very long time. We can agree to disagree. We agree to have open meetings, treat everyone with respect and the dignity, not only us up here, but anyone who's in attendance. We try to learn anything from ourselves and the people who present in front of us. Communication, really the biggest thing we have just agreed on for a number of years is there's never any surprises. We make sure that everybody knows what we're going to talk about prior to talking about it. Requests go through for information will either come through the chair or the superintendent. And then we always strive to improve. If we have a challenge, we talk about it. The other part on here is really the limits, thinking to our authority. And as the superintendent, we all kind of joke, we actually don't have a whole lot of authority. Our job is to guide the ship, make sure we fight for the budget money that the leaders of the district need to make sure that every student is educated to the best possible thing that we can do. And then there's parts in here of when things go wrong, how do we deal with that? And that's really it. There's really nothing to vote on. We do have to sign this, is my understanding. Mm-hmm. Ms. O'Connor is away, but we'll sign it. And then
Can we just talk about something first?
Absolutely, please. I was going to open it up, but go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Finish what you're doing. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, please, always.
So I just want to acknowledge that we did a really horrible job of this last year, and there's 6 protocols that I know were completely ignored And I feel like, as the chair, part of it's on me not to have maybe sort of run a tight enough ship to sort of right some of these wrongs. So I take responsibility for some of them, but I'm sort of sad we didn't have our summer meeting where we go through them and we usually go through them all and everyone says, did we do it or did we not do it? And then we discuss the ones we didn't do. And I think that I agree these are great protocols, but they're only great protocols if we abide by them. And there was 6 that were just completely disregarded. I mean, I just need to say that there is a member, one of the colleagues who created their own agenda and posted a meeting on their own without the chair or vice chairs doing it, which is one of our protocols. We made a decision as a group, and then we're supposed to stick with our decision, even if we don't agree with it. And I know that there was a lot of issue over the budget, and I know personally people didn't agree with it, but this committee can't stand up in a public meeting and say, I'm on the school committee, and not say, the school committee voted yes, but I stand as a public servant to tell you why I think it should be no. Like, no one said that, and that sort of should have happened. And I wish that the no surprises, I didn't know what the motion was ahead of town meeting, so that was a surprise, because I think that if I had actually known the words of the motion, I think that looking back now, I definitely would have reiterated. I know I talked to everyone individually, or almost everyone individually, but I would have reiterated that that's what you need to say at the town meeting, instead of saying, you guys can say whatever you want. You are totally welcome to say it, just say it as citizens. And I didn't say, you should say, the school committee voted yes, but I'm speaking as a private citizen and I vote no. And we didn't do that, and that's on me to not sort of like stress that and sort of allow that to happen. So I was upset that we did that, like the surprise of it, and then to do that. And I think it's important we talk about it. And the other thing was, one of the protocols here is that we work collaboratively with the town. And I know that not everyone believed that we were working collaboratively with the town, and we had come to some agreements, but the superintendent, the business administrator, and myself, and tri-chairs really did try to collaborate and try to work with the town, as our protocols say. And I think that, whatever, you guys, you hear what I'm saying, but I just wanted to say this because sure. I think that we need to do better, because I think we sort of, I think this is such an emotional job, because like, we all want to fight for money for the teachers, and we all want to fight for money for the schools, and we're all working towards the same exact agenda, like all the time. And so it's so emotional, and you get like mixed up with stuff. But I think that's why we need to pull back and make sure we follow these protocols, because I think it's really easy to let emotions take us away a little bit. And I just wanted to just go and say that these protocols are great if we use them. Okay. And I'm imploring you to help us stick to them this year.
Yes. Thank you for the comments. I don't disagree. Anyone else on the protocols?
No, I mean, I don't disagree either, and I think we do take the protocols to heart, and we've all been working under them for so long, and I think when someone says, you didn't follow the protocol, I mean, normally we're like, we hang our head because we know and we agree to them, and we're typically really good at it.
100% agree.
And I will agree with you that frustration and passion, right. Went astray there. Right. And I think everybody did it for the right reason, but you're 100% right that
it's just,
it didn't work. And maybe, a workshop would have been great, but we would have just said what we just said.
No,
right
I know,
now.
but
do you know what I mean?
But I just wanted people to understand.
No, you're right.
I got vilified a little bit.
No, I know.
And and it's not because I don't support everything you guys support or whatever. I was doing my chair job.
Right.
Whatever.
No, and there's.
So I just wanted to say this, and I didn't need to say it publicly.
No, you should say it publicly.
But
I think it's
honestly,
important we'll know that
it
we're
would have been
ourselves a little bit.
Right. It would have been strange to have this item on the agenda and not say what you
Right.
said.
Yeah,
right. It
absolutely.
wouldn't have made sense.
Yeah.
So we need to call ourselves.
Right. Because if we can't call ourselves out on something,
Right.
I mean, we all know each other really well. And I think we do sometimes have to call ourselves. We don't have to agree on everything, but I think it's a good reminder, Suzanne. And so I really appreciate you bringing it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
You're
listening
welcome.
to me.
Of course. John?
So, I'm not going to disagree with anything that I've heard here. I guess just a couple thoughts.
Good.
I guess, as far as the protocols, I think things were happening kind of outside the purview of the committee during that whole town meeting budget issue that, like Karen said, it was something that, members of the committee felt very strongly about. Yes, there are protocols, but, circumstances I think were unique enough where, taking a position was warranted under the circumstances. And again, not disagreeing with anything I've heard here. And, I think also, and Glenn, this is more probably for your benefit at this point, but I think looking back, just if we're doing postmortems, looking back, I think, communication probably could have been better leading up to that, from the chair, just as far as what's happening. So, we're not operating in a
No,
vacuum.
I wish the chair had known that
So-
that motion was happening and what the motion was. That's sort of the
Well,
whole
I think kind of
point.
predating that, it was just, what kind of the circumstances that led up to that. So, again, I think just overall, just more transparency, more communication to everybody when the chair knows it, and just so, we can make informed decisions going forward, and we don't
Right.
have situations like this where, there's, I don't think there's ill will, but just,
Right.
just kind of, some postmortems that, we wish we didn't have to do,
Well,
so.
I wish we didn't think that it's okay to operate outside of protocols, because it's not. Even if you're heated and everything, there's still protocols. There could have still been protocol that were followed. I mean, you were more than all of you are allowed to get up at town meeting and talk and say what you want to say.
Consequences for violating the electronics policy. Consequences may include verbal warning, confiscation, parental involvement. Consequences are determined at each school level. Just scrolling down, I think that was it. So that is the first read.
Any comments, Suzanne?
I think that I was the one that was advocating for having the consequences at the school, not in the policy, because I think they should be at the school. I think that we can't really write them in here because I think each principal has different ideas of what consequences might be, especially knowing specific students or something. So that's why I was trying to make a sentence there that was sort of, look to your handbook, section of your handbook or whatever.
I agree. For years, we debated policy versus procedure, and really that's procedure within the building.
Right.
So
Right.
it would be that way. I would support
There are
that.
cell phone policies that delineate this, that are on the website, that are on different schools' websites.
Right.
It's just- That's why I think it was initially added to this.
Okay.
But also, I think that it's really important that Mr. Kalish and Mr. Kohat specifically, I'm not sure if the elementary school is as important, but look at it to see if this is true, that smart marches can be warned if they're not,
Oh, okay, so they still have to weigh in.
Well,
Right.
I'm just saying, how would you know?
Right.
I actually had this conversation or an exchange with Mr. Kohat on Tuesday of this week when I started my days back here, and he would definitely need to look at this because I think
Right.
smartwatches are out too, so,
It's just hard, I mean, yeah.
How would you, like, to your point, how would you know? Yeah.
so I think that's
Martha,
perfect.
Miss Raymond is chomping at the bit to say something.
The only thing I would remove is about the special education office approving assistive tech.
Oh, yeah, we didn't know, that's why it's high.
Law, like,
I would probably maybe I don't even think you need to put this in, but that the IEP team and the IEP drives what students
Right,
use.
that supersedes all
So
this.
so
So
we
what do
can
you-
have whatever policy we want, but if we end up, if a team decides that a student needs whatever assistive tech device it may
Right.
be, it will
So we
overrule the
could say,
policy.
well, how about you look at this and tell us the sentence
Yeah,
that can be in
please.
there?
Yeah,
that's
so
like-
I'll-
It might just be IEPs
We
overruled.
can distribute
Yes,
this.
the-
Students who require assistive tech devices,
Yeah.
you know, from a 504 plan or IEP are not impacted by this policy.
Right,
So
right.
we'll have, I'll have Nancy make sure Martha, Jason,
Yeah.
and Dennis get this tomorrow.
Great.
And then we'll bring it back on the 12th.
I mean Lori too, if there's
Yeah, I'm sorry,
any
Lori.
policy at the
Kids-
elementary
kids do
school, you would
have-
know.
Cell phones at elementary.
No, that
I know.
makes sense, yeah.
I know.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much. Any other questions about the first read? Okay, great. That's all we have for subcommittees. I know there's a lot of people here to do public comment, so if we could just have one at a time. If any public comment, if you could, is there anyone out in internet land? I can't see over there. John, is there anyone in attendance?
There are some attendees, but no one's put their hand up. So if
Yeah.
someone wants to comment
Yes.
for public comment, put your
Right.
hand up
If,
now.
if someone is out there and you'd like to raise your hand, we'd love to chat with you. While you're thinking about that, I'm assuming there's no one in the audience that has any public comment? Okay. John, is there anyone raise their hands?
No one's
All
raised
right.
their hand.
Well, again, we love public comment. Feel free to reach out at any time. All right, actions and votes. Transportation policy? All right, so can someone make a motion to accept the transportation policy as previously discussed?
I'll make the motion.
Someone second?
Second?
All right, all in favor? All opposed? It carries unanimously. All right, we do have a couple donations. All right, the first one, sorry. I do not know how to.
I don't either.
Okay, so I am going to apologize in advance.
Gasparian family.
Yes.
I would say
The
Gasparian.
Gasparian family, thank you, of Swampscott, is making a donation of $300. The donation was for summer school program at the middle school, scholarship for a student to attend the middle school the summer program at the Swampscott Middle School. On behalf of the committee and the superintendent, we very much appreciate this donation. I'm sure it was used to put to good purpose to help anyone who needed to attend that summer program to attend. So thank you very much. Secondarily, hold on, donations from the Danvers Public School District in Danvers, Mass. And this came through the Director of Technology, Innovation, and Libraries, Ms. Mackie Knowles. And the cost estimate was approximately $2,000, but the cost for a new screen is $6,000, so that's nice. It was donated, the screen was donated and used, but in very good condition. It's an auditorium screen for our little theater, since the screen there has been reached its end of life and the motor no longer works. Can I assume that's at the middle school?
Yes, Little Theater, yep.
Great, the middle school little theater. On behalf, again, of the committee and the entire district, thank you very much and kudos to Danvers Public Schools, and thank you for Ms. Mackie Knowles for following up on this, as usual, doggedly
Looking for
looking for
deals.
good things and deals, so thank you very much to that.
And she's probably watching this meeting right now while she's
Right.
still at the elementary school doing stuff, because she didn't think she was gonna leave there till before 8.
Just completely off the topic, the technology at the elementary school blew me away too. Wow, that was really cool. All right, sorry.
Are we gonna take votes on the donations?
One more time?
Are we gonna take votes on the donations?
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Can we combine them? Is that okay?
Yeah, I think so.
So we're gonna combine C and D, the two donations. Can someone make a motion to accept the donations?
I'll make the motion to accept the donation
Thank you.
for the tuition and the screen.
Great, can someone second?
Second.
All in favor? Raise your hand. Aye. All opposed? Again, thank you to both folks. All right, consent agenda. The consent agenda is designed to expedite the handling of routine and miscellaneous business of the district. The school committee may adopt the entire consent agenda in one motion. At the request of any committee member, any item or items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda for discussion. Pardon me. There's only one thing, that's the regular session minutes of June 27th, 2024. Can someone make a motion to accept those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? It passes unanimously. Lastly, we will
Actually, can I
adjourn.
indulge the chair for a second?
You, absolutely.
So just going back to the cell phone thing, I don't remember if we mentioned timing, just for the feedback. I think our goal was to try to get this in front of the next school committee meeting if possible. So just if that
Yes.
helps, if
Yes.
that helps with.
Yeah, we'll get this out tomorrow, and the intent would be it would be for the 12th.
I just, like I said, I couldn't remember on the timing part, so I just wanted to make
Yep,
sure that was
perfect.
clear.
Yeah, we don't want to delay.
No.
Okay.
Great. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. It's that time. Can someone make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second, please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are